Before we begin today's video, I want to pay tribute to the manga author Kentaro Miura, the legend who created Berserk, who has unfortunately passed away this month on the 6th of May due to acute aortic dissection, which is a serious type of blood vessel injury. Rest in peace, Kentaro Miura sensei. Your work and legacy will forever be remembered in the manga history. We will take a moment of silence. Every manga reader probably thought about creating their own manga, but many of us gave up as soon as we picked up the pencil. To relieve our high ego and salty ass, we often say this to ourselves:
if only my skill is good enough.
But guess what? You ain't! Even if your illustration ability is elite, you probably still wouldn't make it, because becoming a good mangaka is extremely difficult. Coming up with interesting idea that keeps the audience engaged week after week is incredibly hard, and on top of that, you have to compete with other elite talents on a daily basis. Hence, becoming a successful weekly serializing mangaka is insanely hard, even with elite illustration ability. With that being said, I know some of you still are not really convinced and wonder, can you become a successful mangaka with art alone? I will let the protagonist of today's episode to show you the answer. So rather than otaku, let's begin the mangaka journey of the illustration genius, Yusuke Murata. And now, smash my intro. Ever since the beginning of the pandemic, finding job has become incredibly difficult, and companies have been handing out termination letters like Christmas gift to everyone.
Ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
Guess what happens when someone got stuck at home all the time? They eat, they consume a lot of calories, and spend a lot of money. The combination of unemployment and constant food shopping result in your boy getting hella broke and fat at the moment. And guess who else is hella broke? William Sturm, after he declared bankruptcy in 1978, owning a whopping £118 million in debt, the biggest of UK history at the time.
Broke boy squad.
In other more relief news, a healthy baby boy named Yusuke Murata was born on the 4th of January 1978 at Miyagi Prefecture, Japan. The location is known for its saliva-generating fresh seafood dishes, more specifically kagiruri, an oyster dish,
Damn, it looks good.
and Zao Fox Village in Hiroshi.
Oh my days, there's so many mini kuruma.
On top of that, this is also the birthplace for the age-defining, real-life inspiration of the Pillar Man, Hirohiko Araki. Back to our story, there isn't much info on Yusuke's childhood besides the fact that he has moved it to another place at the age of 5 due to his dad changing job. Just like many average children, Yusuke loved playing video game, and one of the hottest games in the 80s was Mega Man, aka Rockman. The blue android has defeated many robotic creations of evil scientist Dr. Willy with his never run out energy blast, while conquering many millennia, and became a nostalgic part of many childhood's memory. The Mega Man franchise wants to get the fan more involved in the creation, hence character design for the villain was open for the fans' creativity and imagination. As a result, the boss character design contest has been open since the second installment of the game. At the final year of primary school, Shota Yusuke entered the competition in Mega Man 3, but his design did not get selected, yet his artwork was good enough to be on the final cut-off. To encourage the future designers, Capcom staff mentions them in the post-credits scene. This was probably one of the earliest setbacks Yusuke has experienced, and it for sure helped him to handle failure. By the 4th generation, the 12-year-old Yusuke obviously entered the competition once again, and this time he displayed art skill way beyond his age group and was selected by the judge with Dustman design. To prove this is not a fluke, my man Shota Yusuke did it once again with Crystal Man in Mega Man 5 in 1992. Speaking about video games, Yusuke was a huge fan of Kinu Nishimura, the Capcom legendary designer. She was involved in many classic games that made Capcom a household name in Japan. Some of the most popular series include Capcom vs SNK, Darkstalkers, and finally, one of Evil's most competitive pioneer game, Street Fighters. Kinu was regarded as one of the best designers in the field, quote,
"One of the most accomplished artists to ever work in video games."
In terms of manga, Yusuke was just like any ordinary kid. He was captured by the worldwide sensation, history-defining manga Dragon Ball by the shonen goat himself, Akira Toriyama. His favorite moment from the series was the death battle between Devil Descendant Piccolo and Goku, and the death match between Super Saiyan Goku and terrifying universe ruler Frieza. I 120% agree with this selection. Adolescent Goku vs Piccolo at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament was freaking lit, and the death match between Goku and Frieza was just different. One of the most iconic scenes in anime history. Ever since that day, I never stopped trying to become a Super Saiyan while screaming my lungs off when I'm mad. Sadly, I have yet to succeed. He kept honing his art skill and started to dabble in the manga creation. He started to draw names and panels during his spare time.
Man, you can't really tell this kid got talent.
I'm not gonna lie, the T-Rex looks kinda cool, you know. Looking back, I could barely draw some Stickman properly during year 7. A few years later, and by the end of high school, Yusuke has decided to advance forward in the manga field. He has submitted the 31 pages one-shot manga Partner in 1995. Unfortunately, I could not get hold of the work, so I couldn't comment too much about it, but it seems like it was set in the future 2025. So maybe in 4 years time we might be able to witness what was written in the story. Back to the main topic. The one shot was good enough for Yusuke to be selected for the Hofstede Awards. Some of the notable selections include our past protagonists Oda Sensei, Kishimoto Sensei, Togashi Sensei, Kubo Sensei, and the list goes on. As you can see, Yusuke's talent is unquestionable, and he is already in a really exclusive club where many Hall of Fame mangaka are located, and he's only at a young age of 17 years old. His manga career is destined, and it was well foreshadowed ever since his childhood. The writing was dead clear on the wall. This genius was chosen by the manga industry. Now everything is in his favor to turn his dream into a reality and become a mangaka. Yusuke continued to polish his art skill, and 3 years later in 1998, he submitted another high-quality one-shot, Samui Hanashi, and was selected for the Akatsuka Award, an award for new comedy work, and some of the notable winners include Takashi Okano, the author of Hell Teacher Nube, and Mitsutoshi Shimabukuro, the author of Toriko. The mangaka journey of Yusuke has been extremely smooth up until this point, and he had won multiple awards left, right, center and back as a young artist. But the 20-year-old rookie realized that there is a hole in his work, and that is the ability to tell an interesting story. As a result, he was sent to Takashi Obata Sensei as an assistant during Hikaru no Go serialization period. Takashi Sensei was extremely critical to Yusuke's work and often pushed him to surpass his limit. For Yusuke, Takashi Sensei is like the perfect role model for him. He basically did everything that Yusuke wanted to do, and he has walked it the exact same path that Yusuke had. Both won Hofstede Award, both had success at a young age, both regarded as a genius by many people. Both had amazing illustration ability that is beyond their peers, but both lag behind in the plot department. Except Takashi Sensei is now ahead of him. He has a successful long-running serialization in Hikaru no Go right now. He was the exact answer to Yusuke's struggle. Yusuke learned a lot as an assistant in Takashi Sensei's studio, and he is ready to give serialization another shot. He released Kaito Clock in 2002, and judging by the first page, you can already tell he has stepped his artwork up once again. In the really same year, Riichiro Inagaki, the author who later wrote Dr. Stone, has submitted 3 one-shots so far in his young 2 years of manga career. He was then approached by the editorial department on whether or not he wants to write and draw the story at the same time for his next work. Him being a rookie, he doesn't feel like he can maximize both departments, so he wants someone who can handle the arc area for him. At that moment, there is one perfect candidate that fit his request, and that's our protagonist of today's video. Hence, Yusuke paired it up with Riichiro to create their next work. From Yusuke's perspective, he read Riichiro's award-winning storyboard in the Story King contest, and he was instantly hooked and thought it would be cool to turn these designs and uniform into an interesting manga. Hence, 2 rookies with great potential have paired up together. They did not waste much time. They immediately produced 2 chapters for the one-shot EYESHIELD 21, and it has received many positive feedbacks from the readers' popularity poll in 2002. This instantly granted them a serialization opportunity in July in Shonen Jump. Riichiro wanted to create a protagonist that is wimpy but has extreme talent in one area that would excel in sport, and he thought American football would suit that criteria. His idea was reconfirmed when he watched a college and NFL match during the research. He loved the passion that this sport brought to the fans and the incredible support from the fan base. Each play meant so much to the audience, and it was simply an amazing atmosphere to be in where everyone is immersed in the match. Initially, Riichiro was scared that EYESHIELD 21 would not be popular as American football was a really niche sport in Japan, and the secret weapon under his sleeve would be turning this series into a Kamen Rider style hero story. Thank God he did not do that, cause I'm definitely not in the mood to watch some grown ass man dressed up as masked superhero in tight pants to play American football. The series centered around the wimpy protagonist Senna, who was forced into an American football high school club by demon-like trickly senpai Yoichi after he displays incredible bursts of speed. Senna dashed through the 40 yards with an insane lightning speed of 4.2 seconds, which is 0.08 seconds faster than the NFL record holder Bo Jackson. Absolutely ridiculous. In comparison, the average NFL running back speed is 4.49 seconds. I am utterly gobsmacked. My man is too speedy. He obviously joined the club reluctantly and began his stereotypical shonen sports journey where he has to face 16-year-old high school kids that looks like 28-year-olds with peak physical condition and on some secret juice. I love juice! Much to the duo's surprise, the series was an instant hit with multiple top-selling manga rankings, and the show was rightfully animated in 2005 by Studio Gallop, the very same studio who produced the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. My first encounter with Yusuke Sensei's work was EYESHIELD 21, and it was my very first encounter to the sports as well. A little bit of side story, my dumbass really thought American football was rugby, and I certainly did some silly thing in PE that made me look like an absolute dummy. Personally, I really enjoy the anime. It might seem like a really cliche shonen show where the main protagonist start off like a little bit and then discover he got cheat code level of ability and dominated the show. I literally just described every isekai show ever. Each character was really unique, like the cheeky mean senpai quarterback that always come in clutch with smart plan, tank-like build with the nicest personality lineman, aerodynamic monkey-like wide receiver, and a cute manager. It is a really fun team with really good chemistry. What ascends the show for me is the match. Literally every play felt important and every moment were magnified, and it felt like everything linked to the final score and you legit could not take your eyes off the screen for a second. Every tackle, every run, and every defensive play just seems so cool, especially with them special effects. Without a single doubt, we can credit that to the incredible artwork of Yusuke sensei. He has improved so much with this serialization. The improvement is dead clear. Kudo to my man. If you like sports anime, you will love this show. The manga was concluded after Liichiro made the executive decision to finish the work and not to drag on the story for the sake of business, which of course Shonen Jump has suggested to him. As a result, EYESHIELD 21 finished with 333 chapters in 37 volumes and 145 episodes of anime and a few games. The manga has accumulated 20 million sales in the 7-year span, which is extremely good for the young rookie duo. Nothing legendary like the Big Three or the popular shonen manga from the 2000s or the extremely popular shonen manga from the 2000s and 2010s like Hitman Reborn and Toriko, but at that time it was freaking amazing. Excellent result that you can only dream about, and it was for sure one of the most popular manga at the time. EYESHIELD 21 did not make Yusuke Murata a household name in Japan, but it for sure made his name well known within the manga community. The genius has finally blossomed onto the scene and displayed what he was capable of to the whole industry. During his first realization, he also released a few one-shots like Mado Fuyuki Park, a story about a teenage boy climbing Sky Tower window in 2050 to look after his granddad. Hetape Manga Kenkyujo A, aka the sequel of Akira Toriyama's Hetape Manga Kenkyujo, where he taught people lessons he learned from drawing manga. It is a quite decent book for aspiring mangaka or people who are interested in manga production. It covers topics like how to design characters' face, and he also includes many famous mangaka like our Go of Hiatus, Yoshihiro Togashi sensei, and Yusuke sensei has also drawn many characters mimicking the original artwork in this manga as well, making you believe that it's drawn by the original author. He then produced The Blast in 2009, a one-shot about a Japanese soldier got captured by the enemy and got his body modified by the scientists where he can shoot blasts out of his arm. He then escaped and continued his mission as a super agent. Another soldier-related manga, Mine, was released in 2010. The story was about an android soldier that rides a motorbike to scout for enemies' information. He then started his second serialization work, Doten Prism Solar Car, with Otaki Yashio sensei, the author who is well known for his work in Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt novel. The story centers around a mechanic named Shota who has to work for himself to survive as his father has passed it away when he was younger. Since he has to put himself in isolation and work constantly to put food on the table. One day he was joined by a local college club where they need his help to create a car that can be powered by the sun, and they aim to win the competition next year. The plot focuses on the main protagonist getting out of loneliness and form a genuinely good relationship with the college student. It has only 9 chapters as it was a really niche topic that many audience simply are not interested in. This is a strong setback for Yusuke sensei. He's back in square one now and time to get back to the drawing board and figure out what went wrong. 2 years later, he has released Doto no Yushitaji, a parody version of the classic hero tale where the Yusha defeats the Demon King and rescues the captured princess. It is quite funny and it is worth a read for those who are interested in hero story. Yusuke Sensei continued his one-shot rampage and produced the Dangan Tenshin fan club. The plot centers around a transfer student discovering that the pretty lolly in the class has a fan club, unsurprisingly. And through them, he found out that she is actually a magical girl, aka Maho Shoujo. Unlike the usual ancestor, her attribute focuses more on physical and scientific attack rather than magic power. Once again, it is a parody to the usual Maho Shoujo genre that we are used to, and the gimmick and mockery of the tradition is displayed nicely, making the show hella entertaining provided you have some background information about the genre. The latest 2 one-shot clearly had a different touch to his usual work, and the plot is completely different from what he usually does. The answer behind the change of plot was 1. Yusuke Sensei had paired up with the popular online manga producer 1. Little bit of background information. Yusuke Sensei caught an infection and he was literally dying in the hospital with rashes over his body and he couldn't breathe properly due to his windpipes swollen. He felt like the end was near. Quote,
I guess people die just like that.
At the time, he was a huge fan of One's work. He loved One's unusual parody that always entertained the reader. Hence, he decided to do something he loved before death. Quote,
If I'm going to die, I want to do something I really love to do. I want to draw manga with Mr. One.
As a result, he has used all of his connection and aimed to partner with One to redraw his favorite series, One Punch Man, and One gladly took the offer. One Punch Man entered the manga industry in 2012 at Weekly Young Jump magazine. The story centers around a society where hero is classified as an occupation and they got ranked based on their ability and accomplishment. Our main protagonist is a bald-headed guy who works as a hero as his job, and he has insane power where he can beat almost everything within one punch. It may sound really basic and really repetitive, but it is all about the execution. Most plot twists and genre has been explored, but that doesn't mean you can't make an idea interesting. It is on the execution. The devil is in the detail, and One has perfectly executed that. My man literally made a simple, predictable One Punch Man battle interesting. Don't get me wrong, One's web manga was popular, but what got One Punch Man to blow up was Yusuke's art. Just look at this goddamn beautiful piece of work. Like, damn, this thing is hotter than them 10 out of 10 chicks on Tinder. Like the detail, the use of color contrast, the use of angle and panel. This is perfection in the making. To support my point, some gifted users online have compiled the manga panel into an animation and see how smoothly the panel connects onto each other and form a 10 out of 10 battle animation with stationery papers. Yusuke Sensei has ascended One Punch Man from a fun show to one of the most popular comedy action manga currently in the industry with his near-perfect artwork. As expected, the manga was an instant hit and Shirayusha has granted the duo the Takashi treatment, aka you can progress the series at your own pace or as long of a break you need to ensure One Punch Man is produced at a high quality, mainly due to Yusuke Sensei's health condition. With that being said, only a handful of mangaka has been granted such treatment like Takehiko Inori Sensei, Kentaro Miura sensei, Katsura Hoshino sensei, and the shortlist goes on a bit longer. The key point is that they are all great mangaka, and Yusuke sensei has definitely placed himself amongst the greats with his incredible illustration ability. 3 years later, One Punch Man received the much anticipated anime adaptation, and it was an instant hit thanks to the incredible production of Madhouse Studio. The show has received positive reviews after positive reviews. The anime was so popular that even normie might have came across it. Heck, it was popular enough for tens of million people to watch some fitness YouTuber do the same routine Saitama challenge one after another without much changes during the pandemic lockdown. There's literally no one I know dislike One Punch Man. You can literally recommend it to any anime fans. You will probably enjoy the series. Obviously, we're not gonna talk about season 2 cause that is some ass. Like, no offense JC stuff, you This sequel is like Last of Us 2, a sequel that everyone wants it, but it turns out to be disappointment like Boruto, but worse.
You're trash, kid.
Ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Okay, I went a bit too far, but you get the point. So far, the manga has accumulated over 30 million copies sold with 23 volumes, and it is still going strong. What I really like about One Punch Man is probably the spontaneous and parody type of comedy, where it always finds a method to surprise you and entertain the audience. I really love the idea that the hero is cool, not because of their look, but what they did and their spirit. Yusuke Sensei managed to surpass his previous big sports hit by 10 million unit with 200 less chapters. The duo has smashed it and exceeded all expectations. One Punch Man has officially placed Yusuke Murata's name on the top tier of current mangaka, and it has slowly solidified his place in the Hall of Fame. During the serialization of EYESHIELD 21, Yusuke Sensei has done a lot of research on American football, and during which he has come across many Marvel and DC comics. He soon became a fan of the superhero franchise. 4 years ago, Yusuke Sensei had the opportunity to draw some poster for the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, in which he obviously took the chance and drew some really cool artworks. On top of that, he also produced the 3-color cover for the Spider-Man franchise: Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vow, Spider Island, Spider-Verse. Speaking about cool poster, during the 40th anniversary of the Weekly Shonen Jump, he did some really cool covers for the magazine. Judging by Yusuke Sensei's recent Twitter posts, we can tell he loves to promote other artists' work and encourage them to continue working hard. In terms of his hobby, we can tell he loves traditional Japanese kimono robes by the frequent retweaks and how often he worn them in public setting. In other notes, both his daughter and son can draw, and Yusuke Sensei proudly displayed them online. God damn it, why can't I have a good artist gene? Back to the main plot of the video. During the serialization of One Punch Man, he also released 2 one-shots. Monster of the Earth collab with One. The story talks about a father who can turn into a giant and fight invading alien monsters. But all of his attack is comical, which resulted in citizens undermining his ability and start to mock him. This annoys the main protagonist, the son of the giant, and one day he transformed into a giant just like his dad and fought the monster. But his action is really cruel and it has scared a lot of people, which contradicted his ideology of hero. This one-shot is a bit deeper than his previous collab with One, but it is still really fun to read. Finally, he produced the Gokibuli Buster in 2015, a ridiculous comedy manga about a team of professional cockroach hunters where they work professionally to eliminate those annoying cockroaches. The most recent one-shot from Yusuke Sensei is Science vs Magic. The story centers around the battle with martial artists that can use element and a cyborg fighter. This time he was paired with Inukurosuke, the author of Ultimate Rock Paper Scissors. It was quite a fun read with intriguing concepts. He is also involved in many side projects like being the character design of Majin Bone and producing character design for one of his favorite medium with Body Mission Bond. Just like Takeshi Obata sensei, he also has many incredibly talented assistants that later became well-known mangaka like Yoshiyuki Nishin, the author of Muho and Roji, and Musada Eiji, the author of Actually I Am. Sometimes destiny is really funny and it seems like history likes to repeat itself. Quick side note before we get to the conclusion. Lately, it has brought to my attention that over 88% of the audience do not subscribe to the channel. That is by far the worst ratio I've ever seen. So smash the like button and click subscribe to support the series and this channel. Cheers man, and now let's get back to the video. Judging from the information we have, I can safely assume that Yusuke Sensei is quite a reserved person and he does not post much personal information online. Throughout his career, he has accomplished many achievements and rewards. His work EYESHIELD 21 has created a huge boom in Japan and helped the adoption of American football. In terms of hardcore stats, Yusuke Sensei has unquestionably achieved Hall of Fame status already, with over 50 million copies sold from his previous works, and he has produced 2 mega hits. What is even more impressive is probably his insane illustration ability. My man is literally getting better with every chapters. His evolution is nothing short of incredible. I think Yusuke Sensei's career has perfectly answered the question we had in the beginning of the video. Can you become a successful mangaka with art alone? The answer is probably not. Just to clarify, this is not a knock to Yusuke Sensei or any pure artist. Humans have flaws and it is a good idea to team up with someone who can solve the issue and yield a far greater outcome than the two would have accomplished individually. Essentially, the idea of 1 + 1 is not 2 but 3, just like our previous 2 protagonists. In terms of art skill, Yusuke Sensei is by far one of the best of all time. Right now, he is top 3 among all the mangaka that is featured in this series so far. He is for sure an illustration genius. Yusuke Sensei, take care of your health and we can't wait to see what happens next in One Punch Man.